It's just comedy.
The Jell-O Program, starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston and Phil Harris and his orchestra.
Thank you. This is Groucho Marx. Well, here I am, stepping in over my head again.
With Fibber McGee and Molly.
Folks, this is just as new to me as it is to you.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny, this is Rochester.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Well, what an original greeting.
Hello and welcome to another week of comedy, funny, haha, on Dwayne Old Time Radio. One thing, please subscribe to my channel. If you enjoy what I'm doing, subscribing is 100% free. Also, one more thing, if you have a few seconds or 1 minute, please leave a review on your preferred podcast service, especially if you're on Apple, Spotify, or really just your preferred podcast service. Thank you and hope you enjoy. Groucho Marx is back. We're going to air 2 episodes of Groucho Marx, The Secret Word, because I have a lot of episodes of Groucho Marx. And we're going to start with The Secret Word is Shoe, which is the 66th episode, aired November 2nd, 1949. And then next after that is going to be The Secret Word is Ink, I-N-K. And that's the 67th episode. And that one aired November 9th, 1949.
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is shoe. S-H-O-E.
Really?
You bet your life. The one, the only...
Just a second, I'll see if he's here. Oh, that's me, Groucho Marx. Thank you. Well, here I am again with $3,000 for one of our couples tonight. George Fenneman, who's first to try and take it away from me?
We invited some expectant fathers and some baby nurses to the show tonight.
You did?
Just before we went on the air, the audience selected Mr. Frank Sullivan and Miss Margaret Lindsay. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome. And if you say the secret word at any time we're talking, I'll pay $100 in cash instantly. It's a common word, something you always have with you. A baby nurse and an expectant father, eh? Miss Lindsay, I presume you're the nurse?
I am.
Where are you from, Margaret?
I was born in Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
During the flood? Or...
Before or after the flood?
After. Well, a lot of water's gone over the dam since then. If you pardon the expression. How long have you been a baby nurse? I mean, how long have you been a nurse, baby?
About 18 or 20 years.
Mm-hmm. How many babies have you had, Margaret?
Oh, hundreds of them. About 300 a year.
How long have you been married? About 40 years?
I'm not married.
I trust that's the proper explanation for that. You've taken care of 300-400 babies?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Mr. Frank Sullivan, huh?
Yes.
You're an expectant father, huh?
That's right.
What are you expecting?
A baby.
I didn't think you were expecting a kangaroo, Frank. I mean, are you expecting a boy or a girl?
A boy.
A boy, huh? How do you know it'll be a boy? Friends in Washington?
Sooner or later, it'll be a boy.
When is this boy going to arrive, Frank?
Any minute.
Well, what are you doing here? Why aren't you over at the hospital making life miserable for everybody down there?
The doctor told me to get out of there and stop cluttering the place up. So I asked him if I could come over here and make some money to pay for the baby.
Fine baby. He's not even born yet. Already he's putting the bee on the old man for money. Now, Miss Lindsay, as a baby nurse, just what do you do?
We take the baby and the mother home and get the formula from the doctor, go home and see that the mother and the baby are taken care of, and
Who takes care of the father?
Well, if necessary, I would.
You give him his bottle, you mean?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Tell me, how long do you take care of the mother and the infant?
Oh, anywhere from 2 weeks to a month, according to Papa's pocketbook.
Mm-hmm. That's a very mercenary attitude, isn't it? Then what do you do?
Go on to another case.
Well, I guess a job like that calls for a lot of changes, huh, Margaret?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
When are you expecting your next baby, Margaret?
Monday.
Is that so? Congratulations, huh? You're much calmer than the expectant father over here. What kind of work do you do, Mr. Sullivan?
I drive a cab and I sell physiotherapy equipment.
In the cab?
It all depends. If the doctor gets in the cab and I get a chance to sell it to him, I will. But I drive the cab first, and then I sell physiotherapy equipment in the afternoon.
Have you had any news yet about the kid?
No.
Well, stick around. Gabriel Heat will be on soon. How long have you been married, Frank?
A little over a year.
How'd you meet your wife?
I met her at Big Bear when I was on leave from the Air Forces. I went to a dance up there.
Oh, were you a pilot?
Yes. She had a ribbon on. She was a beautiful girl.
Just a ribbon? No shoes or anything?
She had shoes and everything on.
What a jerk I am. I had to throw you in the shoes there. Oh, no, that's me this time. I don't get a nickel, huh? Well, you just made yourself $100, Pop. Congratulations. Now, where were we when you threw that shoe at me? So, what happened?
Well, I asked her to dance, and we danced, and then I called her up when I got home.
Isn't it difficult in her bare feet? How did you meet your husband, Margaret?
I haven't any husband.
Well, are you married?
No.
Well, that explains it, I guess. But why aren't you married, Margaret? You're an attractive girl. Being around babies so much, it seems to me you'd want to get married.
Well, it's this way. All the men I meet are husbands and fathers and...
Well, in your job, you just can't get away from the eternal triangles,
That's
huh?
right. By the way, they're not triangles anymore.
They're not triangles?
They're squares.
They're squares. Are you referring to the husbands or the diapers? Huh? And all these years, for the past 50 or 100 years, they've been using triangles. Huh? Bet some kid figured this out.
I bet they did, too.
At a square dance, I'll bet. Huh? Now, Francis, let's see how much you know about babies. For example, should you pick him up when he cries?
If you pick him up, he'll shut up.
Who wouldn't, huh? That'd spoil him, I suppose, huh, if you picked him up? Huh?
Well, they say so, but I've been reading books, and it says it doesn't spoil them.
Clara Barton, how do you feel about picking up crying babies?
Well, I think it should be done, because you never can tell what's the matter if they have a pin sticking them or gas on the stomach or, etc.
Well, the etc. is probably the reason he's crying in the first place. I had gas on the stomach last week. I was at a filling station and the pump fell on me. Miss Lindsay, are you married yet? Well, time's a wasting, you know. You're liable to wind up an old maid. Bring her in and we'll wind her up together, huh? Well, you've been an interesting couple, and I hope you'll both be very happy. Now, in just 1 minute, you'll get a chance to earn $3,000. Right now, listen to this. All right, going to play You Bet Your Life for $3,000. Fenneman, bring our expectant father and the baby nice up to date on the rules.
Each of our 3 couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want on each of 4 questions. The couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $3,000 question at the end of the program. Our other 2 couples are in a waiting room off stage, so they don't know what's happening out here.
What question category did you select?
Songs about New York.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
How much are you going to bet of the $20?
$10.
Jerry Fielding will supply the music. You identify the song. Okay, Jerry. Lullaby at Broadway is right.
And they're on their way. They have $30.
All right, you're going for $3,000 tonight. Remember, that's the big prize now. How much of your $30 you going to try?
15.
Talk right up now. Talk
15.
right up.
Oh,
15.
I'd rather have 20, but...
Come to some decision
20.
between.
20.
Huh?
20.
Has the kid come yet?
No, not yet.
All right, $20. What's the title of this New York song?
42nd Street.
42nd Street.
They're really climbing. They have $50 now.
Why are you climbing away up? Here's your third question. You have $50. How much are you going to try?
40.
$40, huh? Play, Jerry.
Give my regards to Broadway.
Broadway.
Now they're up to $90, Groucho.
All right, you've crept up to $90. Now, how much are you going to try this time?
We've decided 80.
Are you married yet, Margaret?
No.
All right. You're going to bet $80. What's the name of this New York song?
The Bowery.
The Bowery is correct.
And they wound up with $170 plus $100 for the secret word.
Thanks and good luck. Stick around now. You're still in the running for the big question.
Groucho, our next couple, has been in a waiting room off stage, so they don't know the secret word is shoe. Perhaps they'll say it. Just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected a fix-it man and a housewife. And here they are, Mr. Fred Smith and Mrs. Helen Blair meet Groucho Marx.
Folks, we're happy to have you here. And if you say the secret word at any time we're talking, we'll pay you $100 immediately. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Let's see, a fix-it man and a housewife. Mrs. Helen Blair?
That's right.
How large a family do you have?
I have one child.
One child, huh? And what does your husband do for a living?
He's a fuller brush man.
Front door or back, huh?
I think he'd take either.
Mr. Fred Smith, you're the fix-it man, huh?
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Well, just stand there and fix it. I'll be back to you in a moment. Mrs. Blair, how did you meet your husband?
Well, I was living on a farm. I was the farmer's daughter. And we had been missing our chickens. And so this evening we had our light on.
What do you mean you'd been missing him? You were lonely for him?
No, they'd been disappearing.
Oh.
And,
well, that's quite a difference.
We heard this terrible racket in the chicken house, and just as I got to the door of the chicken house, a skunk came out.
And that was your future husband?
No. I saw this skunk, and I yelled, "Get that skunk!" And this young boy was coming over to see my brother, and he grabbed for the skunk, and I grabbed for it, and we both fell on it. We smelled to the high heavens. We went back in the house and tried to figure out what to do. But finally, we decided that we should start going out together because nobody else would go with us.
Well, that is certainly an unusual romance, Mrs. Are you the fix-it man, Mr. Smith?
I am.
Now, just what do you fix as a fix-it man, Mr. Smith?
Well, I fix lawnmowers, knives, shears, and electric appliances, and what have you.
Are you married?
Yes and no.
That's the way to be. What do you mean, yes or no? What kind of an answer is that from a...
However, I'm going to marry the same woman that I was married to.
Didn't it take the first time? Why are you remarrying the same girl of your dreams?
Well, I think it's the proper thing to do.
How old are you, Mr. Smith?
71.
Gee, you don't look it. You look about 58.
Oh, no.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Not many fellas get married at 71.
No, they have better sense at that.
How did you meet your wife, Mr. Smith?
We were kids together.
Well, that's possible, but how'd you meet her, huh?
How'd I meet her? At school. In school.
First time my wife saw me, I was on the cover of Time magazine. She made me get off. It was her magazine. How'd you get to be a fix-it man? Did you start out as a fix-it boy?
No, I used to monkey around when I was a kid.
So did I, but all that got me was trouble, huh? Now, fix-it man, in your job, I presume you run into all sorts of emergencies. What was your biggest mistake?
When I moved to Missouri to live.
You'll get a letter from Kansas City in the morning. Now, Mrs. Blair, when something starts falling apart at the seams around your house, how do you get it repaired?
Oh, my husband...
Your husband is falling apart at the seams?
No, he even fixed my... Tonight he had to fix my shoes before I...
I talk too much. You said shoe, and since that's the secret word tonight, you are now $100 richer.
Oh.
And here you are. Congratulations. Now, don't bother dropping the other shoe. Only the first one counts.
Thank you.
Now, let's play You Bet Your Life, the Elgin American game, for $3,000. Run your $20 into more than the other couples, and you get the chance at the big question later. Fenneman's off stage to remind our listeners how much the first couple won. Go ahead, George.
The baby nurse and the expectant father won $170.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. What question category did you select?
Name the cloth.
Now, here's your first question. You have $20. How much will you try?
15.
Now, what kind of material is calico made of?
Cotton.
Cotton is correct.
Well, off to a good start. They have $35.
Well, you've got a flying start. Remember, you're going for $3,000 tonight. How much of your $35 will you try?
30.
What kind of material is file? F-A-I-L-L-E.
It's a silk, and I believe it's made of
Silk is right. You said it, and you win the money.
They're climbing. They have $65.
Now you've got $65, and here's your third question. How much of the 65 are you going to bet?
60.
What kind of material is cretonne made of?
Cretonne. Oh, cotton?
That's right.
They now have $125.
All right, here's your last chance to beat the other couples. You have $125. How much are you going to bet?
50.
What kind of material is Cheviot made of?
Flax. Is that right?
I'm sorry, the answer is wool.
They wound up with $75 plus $100 for the secret word.
Now, in just 1 minute, our last couple will play You Bet Your Life, and then we'll know who gets the $3,000 question. Right now, I want you to pay attention to this. Now then, we'll soon know who's going to earn the most money and get the chance at the $3,000 question. George, who's leading so far?
Well, the expectant father and the baby nurse are leading with $170. And here's our final couple about to come from their waiting room off stage. They don't know the secret word is shoe. We invited some switchboard operators and some hotel detectives to the show tonight. And just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected operator Matty Weldy and Detective Bob Lowe. And here they are. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome. If you say the secret word at any time we're talking, I'll pay $100 in cash instantly. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Miss Matty Weldy, is that right?
That's right.
You're a switchboard operator?
Yes, I am.
Where are you from, Matty?
I'm from Iceland.
Iceland?
That's right.
Looks pretty hot to be from Iceland.
Don't be too short.
One can never be too sure, Miss Weldy. Nobody ever seems to be born in Los Angeles. I guess on account of the smog, the stork can't find the chimney. Where do you do your telephone operating?
I do my telephone for the Daily News.
Have you ever had your lines tapped?
Not to my knowledge.
Well, keep an eye on Detective Lowe over here. I notice he's looking over your lines right now. Detective Bob Lowe, huh? Mm-hmm. Where are you from?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Mm-hmm. Didn't they used to have a ball club there? Tell me, Dick Tracy, at which hostelry do you do your snoozing? I mean snooping. Huh?
I don't do any snoozing and I don't do any snooping.
I beg your pardon. At which hotel are you an eye, ear, and nose specialist?
Why, it's the Country Club Hotel.
Do you work day or night, sir?
I work the night shift.
I used to wear a night shift. Now I wear pajamas. You must have had some embarrassing experiences in your job, haven't you, Mr. Lowe?
Yes,
Such as looking someone straight in the eye through a keyhole?
Oh, I don't look through keyholes.
Well, it's my mistake. I thought you looked a little peaked, that's all. Besides, I should have known a man as tall as you was strictly a transom man. Now tell me, Gimlet Eye, do the guests at your hotel ever steal things like towels, linen, rugs, and mattresses?
Oh, occasionally they take a towel or two, yeah.
Mm-hmm. What do your towels at home say?
They say his and hers.
His and hers, huh? I can just picture you at home, huh? Your wife throws the his and her towels in the Bendix washer, and there you are peeking through the little window, watching his chasing hers through the hot soap suds. Tell me, Potted Palm, how do you spot a crook in your hotel? Do you use a paintbrush? How do you spot them?
Well, when they come in the hotel, we look at them, and if they're nervous and sort of shifty-eyed and jittery.
That's me, Groucho Marx. Well, how else can you spot a crook? Say, for example, I was walking through your lobby, and you think there's a chance my suitcase might be filled with silverware. How would you handle it? Go ahead.
Well, I'd walk up to you and ask you, can I help you, sir?
I'd say, yeah, hold this stuff while I go back and get the twin beds. Well, are you going to arrest me or not?
No, I don't think we will, Mr. Marks. You see, we saw you coming in, and we recognized you, so we knew that you weren't a crook and that you were honest.
This is the most insulting thing I've heard all day. I'm going to sue you for defamation of character. Now we're going to play You Bet Your Life. And if you can beat our other two couples, you'll get a crack at the $3,000 question. I can't tell you how much they won, but George has gone off stage to remind our listeners.
The baby nurse and the expectant father are still ahead with $170.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. What question category did you select?
Movie title roles.
That's right. Now, here's your first question. You've got $20. How much are you going to try?
About 10. I thought
$10. All right. Who plays the title role in I Was a Male War Bride?
Cary Grant.
Cary Grant is correct.
They're on their way, Groucho, with $30.
All right. Remember, you're going for $3,000 tonight. How much of your $30 will you try?
20.
All right.
$20. Who plays the title role in the picture Mr. Soft Touch? The bell is tolled. Well, anyhow, it was Glenn Ford.
Now they have $10.
You have $10 left. How much are you going to bet now?
Better bet the 5.
Yes.
You're going to bet 5. Well, who played the title role in The Champion?
Kirk Douglas.
Kirk Douglas is right.
They're on their way again. They have $15.
All right, now you have $15. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much will you bet? How much of the 15?
All.
All? Okay. Who plays the title role in The Fighting Kentuckian?
John Wayne.
John Wayne is right.
And they wind up with a grand total of $30. And that means the expectant father and the baby nurse with $170 get the chance at the $3,000 question. And here's the winning couple, Groucho, the expectant father and the baby nurse.
Well, back again to try for $3,000, eh? Good luck. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, so talk it over thoroughly. And no help from the audience, please. Put on your thinking caps. Remember your history. George Washington was the first general to become president. Who was the second general to become president? He was a general in the Second War the United States had with England. what is the answer you two have decided upon?
Jackson.
Andrew Jackson is right. That's right. You win $3,000 in cash. Now, what are you going to do with all that money? What are you going to do with yours, Francis?
I have to have time to believe it first.
Well, let's say it's true. What are you going to do with that money?
Well, I'd like to put some in the bank for Junior.
Well, you can afford to have triplets now, you know. And Margaret, what are you going to do with yours?
I don't know. I think I'll try to buy a home for my mother and myself.
You won $270 plus $3,000. You really cleaned up tonight. Congratulations to both of you.
You Bet Your Life is a John Goodell production, transcribed from Hollywood, directed by Bob Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding. Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is ink. I-N-K.
Really?
You bet your life. The one, the only...
Hey, that's me, Groucho Marx. Thank you. Well, here I am again with $1,000 for one of our couples tonight. George Fenneman, who's first?
Just before we went on the air, we asked if there were any young people present who'd like to get married someday. And our studio audience selected Miss Mary Cool and Dr. Eugene D. McCann, Jr., and here they are. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
So you two are in search of romance, eh? Mary Cool?
That's right. Cool.
Oh, cool, huh? Where are you from, Mary?
I'm from around Milwaukee. I was born in Wauwatosa.
I had that for breakfast this morning. Why did you come to California?
I came to see the Rose Bowl game last year.
You were a little late, weren't you, man?
No, we won.
Oh, you won, huh?
Yes, we did.
And now you're waiting for the next Rose Bowl game?
That's right.
And what do you do between games? Huh?
I'm a secretary.
And Mr. McCann?
That's
Mr.
right.
McCann, Jr., huh? Eugene D. McCann, huh?
That's right.
What does the D stand for? Does that represent anything?
Oh, that's the first letter of my middle name.
Well, that's better than having it the last letter of your middle name.
Not mine. It is the last letter.
That is the last letter,
Yes.
too? It's the last. Well, what is your name? Middle
Well,
name.
I don't use it very much.
Well, I won't tell anybody if you don't. What is it?
Duddy.
Did you say Duddy?
That's right.
Not Fuddy-Duddy, huh? Are you related to Howdy Duddy? Does Duddy have any significance in addition to getting laughs?
It was my uncle's name. That's all I got from him.
Well, I must say he didn't leave you much, huh? What was your reason for coming to California?
I was born here.
I thought maybe you were trying to get away from your uncle. How how old are you, Eugene?
27.
What's your age, Mary?
I was 21 on September 5th.
What year? Where do you work, John?
I work for Prudential Insurance Company of America.
And just what do you do there?
Well, I am a secretary, and my job consists of taking shorthand, typing, answering the telephone, and attending conferences, taking notes.
A lot of men sitting in the room?
Yes, there are.
It's fun, huh?
Yes, it is.
Around 5 o'clock, I suppose, you're on your last lap. What sort of work do you do, Gene?
I'm an optometrist, Groucho.
An optometrist. Well, what's the difference between an optometrist and an oculist and an optician? Couldn't one fella do all three jobs?
No, they're all different licenses.
Well, they're all the same to me. No matter which one I get a bill from, I still can't believe my eyes. How did you get to be an eye, ear, and nose specialist?
I have nothing to do with the nose and ears, Groucho.
You have nothing to do with it?
No.
Well, if you had nothing to do with the nose and the ears, where would you hang the glasses? Well, have you ever considered sharing an office with a dentist? You know, you could then advertise an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Doc, do you have a slogan?
Yes.
Have you got a slogan?
Yes.
What is it?
You can't be optimistic with misty optics.
That's very quaint. Did you make that up yourself, Doc?
That's original, yes, but I happen to be an optimist also, so that...
What do you mean you're an optimist?
Well, that's a club that's in Los Angeles, and this is Optimist Week.
So what is an optimist?
Well, he's a member of the Optimist Club. They have their main interest is in the boy. Their slogan is a friend of the boy.
Friend of the boy,
That's correct.
Is there a sister club to that? Now, tell me, bifocals, do you work for somebody or do you have your own office?
No, I've been associated with my father for 6 years.
You're lucky. Nobody's associated with me for 6 years. By the way, Rimsky-Korsakov, how is it you don't wear glasses?
I don't need them.
Well, don't look at me like that. I'm sure you've seen plenty of spectacles in your day. Huh? Mary, do you think you could fall in love with a nice, successful, young, clean-looking optometrist?
Well, I don't know. I've just met him.
Well, stop giving him the eye, or he's liable to charge you for an examination.
A free examination.
It would be free. Doc, would you mind looking deep into Mary's eyes and tell me what you see there?
Huh? The media is extremely clear.
What was that?
The media is extremely clear.
The media is extremely clear, huh? Still, it's been snowing in the mountains.
There's no sedimentation in the anterior chamber.
What did you say your middle name was? Doc, you're about as romantic as a dish of sauerkraut. Well, you two ought to get along beautifully. An optimistic optometrist and a beautiful girl. Therefore, I now pronounce you winking, blinking, and may you have many little nods. Now, in just 1 minute, you're going to work together as a team for $1,000. But right now, I want you to pay attention to some interesting advice. Now, let's see if you two will get a chance at the $1,000 question. You're going to play You Bet Your Life. Fenneman, give out with the rules.
Each of our three couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want on each of 4 questions. The couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $1,000 question at the end of the show. Our other 2 couples are in a waiting room off stage, so they don't know what's going on out here.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. What question category did you select?
Prominent sports figures.
That's right. Now, here's your first question. You have $20. How much are you going to try? $10? In what sport is Earl Cashel famous?
Golf.
No, I'm sorry. It's tennis. Well known. I think he ranked about 6th this year in the United States.
They now have $10.
Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight, and that's the big prize.
$5.
How much of the $10 are you going to try?
$5.
$5. Okay. Ralph Neves, Neves, or Nevis, is famous in what sport?
Horse racing.
Horse racing is right. Now I know where you bet your money.
Now they're on the way. They have $15.
Now I know where your money goes. Now you have $15. In what sport are you going to bet how much?
10.
10. In what sport is Bob Dillinger famous? Take a guess.
Boxing.
No, I'm sorry. It's baseball. He's with the St. Louis Browns, I believe.
They now have $5.
Well, you now got $5. You can't get married on $5, you know.
We'll end up with 5.
You're going to bet $5, huh? In what sport is Jim Ferrier famous? Ferrier. Jim Ferrier.
Football, I'll say.
No, it's golf. I'm going to give you one more chance to get rich quick. You answer this question correctly, I'll hand over $10 in cash. Who is buried in Grant's tomb? Grant is right. Don't go away now. You're still in the running for the big question.
Groucho, the next couple has been in a waiting room off stage, so they don't know the secret word is ink. Perhaps they'll say it. Just before we went on the air, the studio audience selected a man who works for the city public health department and a housewife to be his partner. And here they come. Mrs. Emma Ziegler and Mr. Al Toribio meet Groucho Marx.
Mrs. Ziegler? I'll call you Emma, huh? Where are you from?
From 1550 West 52nd Street in Los Angeles.
Is that upstairs or down? I meant, where are you from originally, Emma? And I don't want to hear any nonsense about the stork either, right?
Well, originally I was born in a barn near Lansdale, Pennsylvania.
You were born in a barn?
That's right.
Well, that was a horse on you, wasn't it, Emma? How long have you been married, Emma?
For 12 and a half years.
12 and a half years. Do you have any children?
I have 4 kids.
You have 4 kids, huh? Very interesting, huh? Do you have any children?
Yes, I have 4 children.
How did you meet your husband? I didn't mean to be so fresh, Mrs. Ziegler.
When we were deep sea fishing, I handed...
You were deep sea fishing? And you pulled him out?
No. He sort of helped me out. I handed him my uncle's false teeth.
What, were you using that for bait?
No, my uncle had given them to me.
You gave your boyfriend your uncle's teeth?
He wasn't my boyfriend then. He was a perfect stranger.
Well, did he put... And then you put the bite on him?
Shortly after that, he put the bite on me.
Mr. Toribio?
That's right, Groucho.
You're from the public health department, huh?
That's right, Groucho.
How do you feel?
I can't kick.
Rheumatism? Where are you from, Al?
City Health Department.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel, huh?
Swell.
Swell, huh? Got the mumps? I mean, what town are you from, Al?
Oh, Trinidad, Colorado.
How's the health in your family, Mrs. Ziegler?
We're all in top shape.
All in top shape. Shaped like a top, huh? Suppose on Sunday you go out for a spin, huh?
Sometimes we do.
With all those children, Emma, do you ever have a case of the sniffles or a cold around the house?
Quite frequently.
What do you do in a case like that?
Well, one time when 3 of them came down at one time, I got out the sewing machine and started making dresses.
You always make dresses when the kids have a cold?
It's a good time.
Well, don't you give them any medication of any kind?
Well, I did that in between the scenes.
Well, you threw me that time, Emma. Mr. Toribio, how would you handle it if you came home and found 4 youngsters all broken out?
Well, I'd check to see whose children they were first.
You have a very suspicious nature. Haven't you got 4 children?
3, Groucho.
Well, don't come running to me with your trouble. Okay, now let's play You Bet Your Life for $1,000. Run your $20 into more than the other couples, and you get a chance at the big question later. Fenneman's off stage to remind our listeners how much the first couple won.
The secretary and the optometrist lost all their money, so these people have a clear field.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. What question category did you select?
Movie biographies.
How much you going to bet?
Oh, $10. $10.
Okay. Who played the title role in Wilson?
Alexander Knox.
Alexander Knox is correct.
Well, on the way with $30, Groucho.
Okay, you've got $30. You're betting how much?
25.
Who played authoress George Sand in A Song to Remember? The authoress.
Was it Merle Oberon?
It was Merle Oberon on the nose.
On the way now, they have $55.
Now, how much are you going to try of the 55?
40.
$40. Who played composer George Gershwin in Rhapsody in Blue? It's a toughie.
He's a director in New York now, stage director. Name of...
Take a stab. I'm sorry. As Archie Mayo would say, the bell is tolled. It was Robert Alder, and that's a pretty tough one.
They now have $15.
Okay, now how much are you going to try of the $15?
15. Let's take it 10.
You're going to
10? She says 10.
$10. Who played composer Jerome Kern Until the Clouds Roll By? Oh, that's a shame. It was Robert Walker.
And they wind up with $5.
Well, thanks and good luck. Now, in just 1 minute, our last couple will play You Bet Your Life, and then we know who gets the $1,000 question. But at the moment, I'd like you to listen to this. Now then, we'll soon know who's going to earn the most money and get the chance at the $1,000 question. George, who's ahead so far?
Well, the health inspector and the housewife with $5 are leading. Our final couple doesn't know the secret word is ink, since they've been in a waiting room off stage. Perhaps they'll say it. Just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected a cross-country bus driver and a roller coaster operator. And here they are, Mr. Bernard Sampson and Mr. Robert Sewell. Meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, gentlemen, to You Bet Your Life. Mr. Sampson, you're the bus driver, huh? Which bus do you drive, Bernard?
Pacific Greyhound Lines.
Mr. Sewell, Mr. Robert Sewell, huh? What do you do?
I'm a roller coaster operator.
Where do you do your operating, Bob?
An Ocean Park Pier.
Just where is Ocean Park Pier?
It's an ocean park.
You don't get around much, do you? Huh? Bus driver, are you still here blocking the traffic?
I'm still here.
Where are you from?
Chicago.
Are you married?
Yes, I'm married.
How'd you meet your wife?
I met her on a Pacific Electric train going to work. All the way downtown, I just kept looking at her, and she didn't say nothing to me, and I didn't say nothing to her. And,
you had a very interesting conversation.
Well, before I got off, I asked her for her phone number, and I told her I'd write the number down, and she'd give it to me, and she gave it me pretty fast, and just about to write, and I ran out of ink. And
Now, where were we when you spilled ink all over the joint, huh? So, you ran out of ink?
And wrote down her number with a pencil on a piece of paper and called her up and told her I was going to marry her. And here I am.
And since that time, you've been riding buses, huh?
Well, I'm pushing the Greyhound down the highway.
What time does your bus stop at Long Beach, driver?
I don't stop in Long Beach.
What have you got against Long Beach? Let's take another ride on the roller coaster, operator. Just what do you do on your job, Mr. Sewell?
Oh, I release the brake levers.
That's all you do? Just pull the lever? Don't you do anything else?
No, we load the people in the train first.
And what do you do while the coaster is going over the track?
Oh, I just stand there and wait for it to come back down.
I mean, you just stand there and hope it comes down. Is that what you mean?
Oh, it'll come back all right.
You're pretty despondent about the whole thing, aren't you? Well, what do you do if the thing doesn't come down? How do you get it down?
Well, it's always came back.
Well, I can't shake your story, can I? Well, if it didn't come down, what would you do? Put an ad in the paper or something? Lost one roller coaster? Now, how long a trip is it on your booby trap?
7/8 of a mile around.
7/8 of a mile. And how long does it take to cover that distance?
It takes a minute and 45 seconds.
And how much does it cost for the ride?
25 cents.
For 7/8 of a mile, 25 cents. It's pretty expensive, isn't it? Bus driver, how far can I go in your bus for a quarter?
About 12.5 miles.
In which direction?
Anywhere you want to go.
Okay, up. What time is your bus stop at Anaheim?
I don't stop in Anaheim.
What have you got against Anaheim? Operator, how do you explain your exorbitant rates compared with the bus company?
Well, we have a very thrilling ride there on the coaster. It takes you up and down and around, a lot of twists and curves. That's a lot of fun.
A lot of thrills, huh?
Lots of thrills.
It's evident you've never been on a bus. Say, Greyhound, what time is your bus stop at Santa Barbara?
About 3:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, you stop at Santa Barbara, eh? What have you got against Santa Barbara? By the way, those roller coasters look pretty rickety to me. How do you know they won't collapse?
Oh, they're inspected each day.
Mm-hmm. Who inspects them?
I do.
Building inspector comes around once a month. Mr. Sewell, you say you inspect them?
Yes, sir.
How?
Well, I'll walk over the track and see that everything's all right.
You go up over the top and all that stuff?
Yes. Then the building inspector comes around once a month.
You make him
Looks
ride
it
it?
over. No, he won't ride it.
He won't ride it. That building inspector is no fool, you know. Now, let's play You Bet Your Life. If you can beat our other two couples in the quiz, you'll get a crack at the $1,000 question. Can't tell you how much they won, but George is off stage to remind our listeners.
The health inspector and the housewife are ahead with $5.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. What question category did you select?
Latin songs.
Latin songs. Here's your first question. You have $20. How much you going to try?
10.
Jerry Fielding will supply the music. You name the song. Okay, Jerry.
Amapola.
Amapola is right.
And they're off to a good start with $30.
Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight. Now you have $30. How much you going to try?
$30.
You going to try? Here we go. Give me the title of this Latin melody. What do you say? Take a stab at it.
Star Eyes, isn't it?
No, I'm sorry. You were close. It's Green Eyes. I'll give you one last chance to get rich. Answer this one, I'll pay you $10. What oceans have the same names as the Atlantic and Pacific Tea Company?
Atlantic and Pacific.
Atlantic and Pacific is right.
And that means the health inspector and the housewife with $5 get the chance of the $1,000 question.
Didn't you bet so much?
And here's the winning couple, Groucho, the housewife and the man from the Department of Public Health.
Are you ready to try for $1,000, eh? Good luck, and I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, so talk it over thoroughly and no help in the audience, please. I hope you've been reading your newspapers for the past couple of years. Careful now. Who was the Secretary General of the United Nations? Are you ready? What's the answer you two have decided upon?
We've decided upon Trigreave Lee.
Trigreave Lee is absolutely right.
right, you win $1,000. You had the right answer, so you win $1,000. What are you going to do with all that money?
I'm going to improve the health of my children. We all need dental work.
What are you going to do with your money, Al?
I think I'll
clean up the city?
No, I'll look at the new car.
Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you, Groucho.
You Bet Your Life is a John Goodell production, transcribed from Hollywood, directed by Bob Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding.
Listening to and showing your support for my podcast. If you would like to receive notifications of when new episodes are posted, please subscribe to my channel. Subscriptions are 100% free, and they really help me get an idea of how I'm doing. Well, hope you enjoyed, and until next time, stay safe, wish you well, and as always, peace.